She does not look to score first. She is a pass-first point guard with this roster surrounding her, but she can absolutely take it to the rim like you saw.
As Corey Close told us, more of a surveyor than a scorer. She's a point guard in her final college season. Here's Hyde, the top scorer for Iowa, giving up for Flau'jae. And the single digits on the shot clock. Here's Deal, a three, pops out. Hyden has the offensive rebound. Well, Iowa was getting back, ready to play transition deep, but forget about that with a right three.
Chit-chat getting on the board early for Iowa. Just 5'4", smallest player on the floor, but she can fill it up from long range.
She was all the way back to the free throw line, ready to play half-court defense, and rejoin the play on the offensive rebound. So the big hit for the point guard for Iowa. Hawkeyes with a miss, and a foul on Gabriella Hawkeyes. Off the rebound from Stokey.
So Charlie Sledger-Walker, look at her use the screen and then reverse it, go all the way with her left hand. She is a scorer. And then on the other end, the hustle play from Hyden and Chit-Chat, you mentioned it, making the long run back. That's an easy run when you're going to get set up for a three-point look.
Straight ahead into a three, yes please. We'll take that as a guard. Low. Iowa does this so well with the two bigs.
Well, this is crucial. UCLA in a 4-guard, 1-post lineup, and Iowa 2 posts that can score inside, and that time it was Stokey, one of the big posts for Iowa.
Here's the headliners for UCLA. Lauren Betts going to work. It'll be interesting, right? Corey Close told us they will go a little bit more two bigs than normal today because of what you mentioned.
Well, and Corey Close has the ability with so many different styles of players on her roster. 7 McDonald's All-Americans for the Bruins.
Well, Hawkeyes inside, quick touch for Betts, but off her fingertips and out. So this will be something to deal with for UCLA's defense all day long, the high-low.
Well, right here, you see the great job by Hannah Stokey pinning Gabriella Hawkeyes, who is just 6 feet, trying to get in there and play traditional post defense, and Stokey just too big and strong without some help.
With this too big look, Iowa usually has matchup advantage size-wise with Stokey's height, and Hyden spins it off, and this will stay with the Hawkeyes.
And you see the quick move. I like Hyden attacking Lauren Betts. She cannot be intimidated by last year's National Defensive Player of the Year. It's not often that she's looking up significantly at a defender. She's 6'4", but Lauren Betts is 6'7" with a long wingspan. She looked like she was unaffected that time in getting a high percentage look.
Well, this is thrown near the backcourt. UCLA just subbed for the first time. Angela Dugalich makes them bigger, and her length forces a turnover. Here's Kiki Rice, and the traffic, and Dugalich fresh off the bench and into the book.
Another 6'4" player for the Bruins that is very active defensively.
The fear box, strong drive, no bounce, kept alive by Stokey, but a foul. Early foul trouble for Stokey on Thursday. She picks up her first.
Now the pressure for UCLA, they want to get out and apply pressure. They get the turnover, and then patience by Kiki Rice. Under control, sees the Dugalich as a wide open layup and passes it. One of the reasons UCLA is number 2 in the nation is because they're willing and able passers at every position. You saw Kiki Rice could have forced it, maybe got to the line. She dished it for an easy one.
Two of the most unselfish teams we'll see in all college basketball. We're watching here, and the Betts pays it off to the low block.
The ISO on the block by Lauren Betts. Just a real easy turn and score with her right hand.
Stokey got drilled by Dugalich, who is called for her first personal. Well, always interesting how this game is going to be officiated when Betts is involved and when Stokey and Hyden are involved.
There's no question. It's very difficult to referee inside, and that's what you really want to see. Stremlo off the bench, slicing in for 2. That bench production, they take the loss at USC. SC played phenomenal defense against Iowa to get that win. But Iowa's bench was very good. One of the things they're going to have to see again today in order to compete with UCLA.
Walker to the paint again.
So Ledger-Walker is very aggressive today off the bounce, looking for her shot against Iowa's backcourt.
All 10 UCLA points inside the paint to start this game. And that gets caught up in traffic. UCLA with the takeaway. Putting the gas for Dugalich, leaning in for the and one.
Angela Dugalich would start for just about every other program in the nation, and she is a sixth-year senior at 6'4". This is her versatility, avoiding the offensive foul in transition against a point guard who was looking to try to set her feet and take that contact. Dugalich can guard you 1 for 5, and she picks her spots offensively to make a difference.
I was going to say, we talked about the sub that Corey Close made for size, getting Dugalich in there. And then she runs the break like Kiki Rice.
And she can hit the 3, 34%. So many WNBA scouts and coaches looking at this UCLA Bruins roster. She's one of them.
And a pull-up top for Strimlow to get one back for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, good energy from Strimlow off the bench for Iowa. The sophomore guard coming off a double-figure game against SC.
This will stay down here. Dan Jensen can't believe it on the Iowa sideline as Layla Hayes whistled in front of X.
Is rolling.
Well, at least they've carved out 12 of their 13 points in the paint to start this game. And Dugalich, an outside pop, no. And Chit-Chat Wright, smallest player on the floor, has the rebound. Lightning quick point guard, the transfer from Georgia Tech. And a great eye to this Iowa Hawkeyes backcourt. Stremlow probing. We have Hayden on the bench, the top scorer. It's Hayes and Stokey in the front courts for Iowa. And off the pocket pass, Stokey puts it away.
Very good patience against this UCLA defense that is long.
A lob through a double team, and Betts came back down and can't do that. That's a travel.
Well, I know Lauren Betts asking for a jump ball. I thought there was contact made on top of the ball. We'll see, but this is on the other end. Chit-Chat sees that Dugalich is leaning towards her weights and then delivers the beautiful pocket pass to Stokey. No, I think that's a good call. I don't think the jump ball came until the second touch and she'd already traveled.
A couple early turnovers for UCLA. Their goal is under 12. And through the back door, nobody home. Stremlow thought Wright was going that way. She was setting the screen for Fearbach.
So I always think there's a period to start a game when both teams are kind of trying to figure out what the defense is going to give us. What are the matchups? What are we doing? You realize UCLA in this matchup wants to get in the lane, either off the bounce or inside as Kiki drills it.
First outside hit, a deep 2 for Kiki Rice. First field goal that doesn't come in the paint for the Bruins. And that's in the backcourt off Fearbach. It's a good point, at least.
Now, good denial defense by Charlie's Ledger Walker. As Kiki Rice, reading the screen, has worked on this relentlessly. That mid-range game, the jumper, she is so good at getting downhill. Leads UCLA in free throw attempts. She loves to draw contact, but she can also pull up.
Same spot, no. Hawkeyes the follow, always in motion, no. Third chance at it, and Stremlow breaks it away, but still with the Bruins. Here's Dugalich stepping over Wright, and the possession finally cleared for Iowa. And a couple of guards, couple of wings, crashing the offensive glass for UCLA. And Iowa gets away with it, and deal. And she can't buy one on this trip yet.
Owen going all the way around, but won't drop.
Didn't score in the USC game the other day. Dugalich has a beautiful move.
Yeah, she was able to put Stokey in the spin cycle and get to the rim. Those are two players that don't mind physicality on the block.
We'll see a lot of that. Swap and paint today with 4 bigs on the floor most of the time.
And look at the 2 freshmen inside, just leaning on each other in Seattle. That's for UCLA and Layla Hayes for Iowa.
And a quick touch for Hayes, back in the hands of Stremlow. Shovels it, extra 1, deal, 3 ball. One and done for the Hawkeyes. And some flashes of brilliance for Deal. 20 points against Ohio State in a ranked win. And Ledger Walker off. And Hayes has the rebound.
Good contest there from Stremlow, not allowing Ledger Walker to get a completely clean look. Flashed at her late.
And inside 2 minutes in this opening quarter. And a top 10 game for first place in the Big Ten. Wright backs it out. Another late shot clock for Iowa. Freshman on freshman. And Betts brings that one to the trouble for Hayes.
Sienna Betts, the #2 overall recruit in the nation, coming in, the younger sister of Lauren. Both from the state of Colorado, where they won state championships together. And then for Sienna, the younger sister, by herself. And what an addition for Corey Close, the Betts family. Lauren wears number 51 for her father, who was a pro in basketball, played at San Jose State. And then Sienna wears number 16 for her mom, who was a volleyball player.
Open court, chip shot right, posted. Easy two.
Well, that's what Iowa needs. They need a couple of easy buckets, because UCLA, when you're going against them in the half court and the quarter court, they are so long and so disciplined. They are really difficult to score against.
1 through 4, usually they're outmatching you with your length, and of course at this spot with Betts at 6'7", he has the miss from the mid-range. Iowa has overcome 5 first quarter turnovers to be within 4 against the number 2 Bruins here in Westwood. Wright took a peek, now steps back. And a 1 for 2 start from out deep for Wright. It's a rebound for Neepkins. A dangerous shooter, hasn't gotten going yet. Neepkins at 47% from 3 on the year.
And in her career.
Tapped away and stays with UCLA.
I think she's about 44% career from 3, Neepkins, the former Utah Ute, but she is shooting this year 50, 40, 90. She's missed 1 free throw all season. If you want to see somebody that can really spin it off her fingertips and fill it up, it is Gianna Neepkins.
And that's why Kylie Feuerbach, best defender for Iowa, checks her. Fighting through a screen, here is Neepkins. And her first one's a miss. Great matchup that is. Feuerbach against Neepkins on the perimeter. This round to Feuerbach.
Feuerbach able to navigate those screens. And that is one area for Corey Close as they continue to try to push. Their goal is a national championship. They broke through for the Final Four last year and then lost to UConn. It's the 3rd year in a row they've been eliminated in the NCAA tournament by the eventual national champ. But they know that the margins are small to win a national championship, and screening is one area that she mentioned. You mentioned turnovers, screening, setting good, solid screens offensively. It sounds little, but it can mean big things.
Journey Houston gave it up, and with 2.1 on the first quarter clock, it's baseline out for Iowa.
Journey Houston was so good against USC, a career-high 16 points for the freshman who came in as a guard, but in this 2-post lineup has played a lot of 4 for Jan Jensen, and she is a rebounding machine at just 6 feet tall.
You're looking at the per 40 numbers for her. They're outstanding.
She plays 14 minutes a game and averages 5 rebounds. So if you extrapolate it, it's 14.9 rebounds per 40.
End of the clock, Stolke can't hit, and that brings an end to the first quarter here at College Pavilion in Westwood. So a couple hours ago before this game, and UConn went 46-24 over Tennessee in the paint. UCLA doing their part as the 2nd best paint team in the country.
Yeah, they just, from a variety of different positions, and I think that's why UCLA is so difficult, because one day it may be Iowa Hawkeyes, one day it may be Lauren Betts, Kiki Rice, and today it's Angela Dugalich in the first quarter with 7 points. Very difficult to scout.
Well, Ava Hayden would like to get her day going. No points in the first quarter. This will stay with her and the Hawkeyes.
Angela Dugalich, just a menace out there. Another deflection for the 6'4" forward who comes off of the bench.
The Chicago native was recruited hard by Iowa. Jan Jensen told us, we recruited the heck out of her. It wasn't just a normal recruitment. We wanted her bad.
And she started at Oregon, part of the #1 ranked recruiting class in the nation. Seems like forever ago.
End of the shot clock. Wright had to heave it, and it goes back to the Bruins.
Well, and I think for Chit Chat, her ability to fill it up. Jan Jensen, when we talked to her, she mentioned without Taylor McCabe, just a big loss, especially from 3, that Chit Chat has got to be a little less unselfish. She's so good passing. But they need Chit Chat, and that's why you want the ball in her hands into the shot clock and say, go make something happen, Chit Chat, because you have that kind of ability.
At least that was another call that brought Jan Jensen to her knees. Ava Hayden called for her first.
Yeah, they need to get Ava Hayden going. Scoreless so far in this one. And look at her battle against Betts.
Oh, good defense, helping out Feuerbach. And the pass goes out of bounds. So give and take for Kylie Feuerbach.
Well, and those are the type that you have got to capitalize on if you were trying to knock off the #2 team in the country. You had UCLA on the run defensively. You've got to complete that pass and at least get a look at the rim.
And on Thursday, it was the early turnovers for Iowa that did them in, and this is a UCLA turn, I think.
Both coaches right now, the look of frustration, their eyes rolling like, take care of the basketball.
I was going to say, UCLA stayed down there like it was still going to be theirs. But very close, had to take a walk off the frustration. Hayden, 16 points a game, top scorer for Iowa, still scoreless. Into the post, here's Stolke, no dribble, and a foul. As Iowa posts, so well schooled. Quick move and go, and a foul call.
And Iowa, even at shoot-around earlier today, working on that rip move, working on the footwork on the block. And Hannah Stolke, a 6'2" senior, another player from the state out of Cedar Rapids. Just basketball crazy at Iowa. It is so cool to see the support that they get. 3 straight years of sellouts in a row. I mean, just, yes, Caitlin Clark was a huge reason why, but the coolest part about that is all the other fans that were introduced to Iowa basketball and have hung around to see this team make it into the top 10 after starting the year unranked.
The Hawkeyes have been in the stands for a while, 4.5 minutes that they've held UCLA scoreless down on this end. Ledger Walker got the Bruins going early in another drive.
Another straight line drive for Charlize Ledger-Walker. She's the 5th or 6th scoring option on this team. She scored over 1,700 points before ever becoming a Bruin.
Right hander on her hip, and it taps out to Rice. She looks to run the break, keeps it herself, coast to coast.
So back-to-back buckets again in the paint. As UCLA just really has put their foot down and trying to get inside.
It's been a big indicator for Iowa. When they win the paint, they win the game. -10 to start, and it's knocked out by Ledger-Walker.
It's a UCLA team so experienced. Kiki Rice, so comfortable in transition with left or right. I think she prefers her left hand. She goes there, that time pretty easy choice on the left side, but she is a slasher.
Oh, good pass. Fearbach flashing off the Hayden feed, and back to the Bruins.
And you can see that Fearbach, just a little frustration. She flashed open in the late contest by Hawkeyes, but the difference in points in the paint, huge for Iowa's indicators of success.
UConn and Iowa State through those early losses, +10 against the Hawkeyes. So the Bruins are right now, and Betts can't have the pass. It does stay with UCLA.
Luter, and she said, we're going to just continue to keep showing up, and it is going to go our way. We just have to put in the work. Since that time, they have won 17-3 in Big Ten games.
Stolke, same move, this one and one.
And out of that timeout, Jan Jensen getting it dialed up to her senior forward that plays with so much dog. Just get it to her on the block, let her go to work. Got the matchup with Sienna Betts, the freshman, and scores through her for the three-point opportunity.
The same move you pointed out, they were working on a shoot-around. Shows up in the game again for Stolke. 2 instead of 3. Iowa is locked in defensively since the midway part of the first quarter. Just 3 points UCLA's defense has allowed in this quarter. Into Betts, working on Hayden. Spinning and finishing.
And that is power on power. Hayden did a pretty good job holding her ground initially, but Betts just kept going.
Betts up to 6 points. Led by Ledger-Walker on the UCLA side. And Stolke is fouled. Back-to-back paint touches, back-to-back trips to the free throw line. And that's the second foul on Betts after he scored the other way.
Now Lauren Betts, this is just traditional back to the basket footwork. Starts with her left. Hayden kind of gives ground, doesn't want to pick up another foul, and Betts is able to lay that one easily. See, Hannah Stolke kind of body language in that one in, moving her shoulders, saying, get in there, go home, ball.
Too good for your home?
You know you want to go to sleep? That net is your blanket. Good night, ball.
Oh. Well, back-to-back games now. Lauren Betts with first-half foul trouble. Had to sit with 3 fouls at Illinois, and Iowa gets a stop without her in the post.
That's a great job of anticipating by Stolke, getting her hand in there for the deflection.
And so it's Dugalich and Sienna Betts in the front court for UCLA. Got the All-American and one of the best defenders in all of college basketball. And it's Dugalich with the stop.
UCLA was challenged with no Betts against Illinois.
Into the paint, and it's turned over by UCLA. Illinois kept that game close with Betts dealing with the foul trouble. There's a few teams that have done that. Tied in, still scoreless. Dugalich goes down, grabbing her neck. Her and Stolke were tied up together. Hannah Stolke with her second foul.
Ooh, right there, the left arm extends from Stolke right in the throat. Oof. Oh boy, that was not an embellishment.
So this will be looked at for a potential upgrade. As always, looking at the severity of that contact, the wind-up, the impacts, and the follow-through.
Well, and because it is in the head and neck area, it's always something that the officials are going to take a look at. I would not be surprised if it's not upgraded. It's excessive hard or unnecessary contact, and those probably all three of those fall under that category of excessive, hard, and unnecessary. Good news is that Dugalich looks like she's going to be okay.
It felt a little bit like maybe advantage Iowa until the half because Lauren Betts got into foul trouble, but now Stolke, their second leading scorer, has her second.
And you saw without Stolke on the floor for periods of time against USC, that Iowa's not the same team on either end of the floor. She brings so much to the Hawkeyes, and the senior leadership without Taylor McCabe, the senior who suffered the knee injury and is out for the rest of the season, and unfortunately for her career, and our thoughts go out to her. That's just such an awful situation as a senior not to be able to finish your career on the floor. She put so much time and energy and effort. She's one of the best three-point shooters in Iowa history. #1 in three-point percentage for her career at 40%. So it's a big loss for Iowa on the floor, just in terms of production and spacing and what she can do. But just from a leadership standpoint of the way that she earned her minutes. She earned every minute that she ever got. And Jan Jensen talked about what it means to be a Hawkeye. And it's not often when you have a great program that has had the success that they've had where freshmen get on the floor and play immediately. And it's a process, just like it was for Ava Hayden last year as a freshman. Come off the bench, score 5 a game, earn your minutes, and then as it progresses, and she earned her spot. So,
well, no missed assignments. That's the big thing defensively for McCabe. With or without Stolke, with the foul trouble the rest of this half, Iowa needs some scoring from Ava Hayden. They're best at doing that.
Well, and if Lauren Betts does not return for the final 5:22 of this first half, this is where Ava Hayden has to get fed the basketball. They've got to find a way to get her involved.
The common foul on 45 for Iowa has been upgraded to a flagrant 1. UCLA will get 2 the ball at half court.
So Hannah Stolke here, the play is done, extending the left arm right to the throat of Angela Dugalich. So excessive and unnecessary. Under the rule book, upgrade that to a flagrant 1. And Kiki Rice, who's an outstanding foul shooter. Such a big part of her game is she loves to get to the foul line. At 89.8%.
When she's that good, you get it down to the 10th percentage, not just 89.
Well, it's incredible. This UCLA team, in terms of foul shooting, But Kiki Rice, because it's not just the efficiency of the line, it's also how often she gets there. It's a weapon.
She got them both and the ball for UCLA after the flagrant one against Anna Stolke, who's on the bench with foul trouble for Iowa. Lauren Betts with 2 first-half fouls for UCLA. And Hawkeyes sweeps in for 2 more.
Hawkeyes, her first bucket and a couple of looks. That one rolling in on a nice reverse.
The best scoring season of her career so far at 15 points per game. She's gone from a slow recruitment to a possible top 10 WNBA draft pick. And Gabriella Hawkeyes in her 4th year for the Bruins.
And such an improvement at the 3-point line for Hawkeyes.
Late in the clock, Mulaney lets it go. It's off the back of the rim. Houston has an offensive rebound. Feuerbach can't convert the second chance. Betts with the rebound. Iowa in the quarter, just 5 points, 5.5 minutes in. And Kiki Rice back to the rim.
Just kind of the slow drip for UCLA against Iowa. It hasn't been a big run. It's just been stop, stop, and another stop with a bucket on the other end. It's only 31 points, but their defense has been stellar.
Still haven't allowed Hyden to get loose. Chit-chat right, knocks it down.
Chit-chat 47% from the 3-point line this season. What, in addition, she is just a sophomore.
Well, at least she has both threes on the day for Iowa. 2 of 9, and this will stay down here. So that's double foul trouble for the bigs for Iowa. Hyden with her second, and Stolke on the bench with foul trouble as well. And here's Corey Close. She's wearing a mic for us today.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go!
If we could have done a thought bubble on the one call that she didn't like, she could have walked down the side of the bench.
What would you put in that thought bubble, Clark?
Duke 3. That's a thought bubble right now, yes.
Very close has some good things about the Dugalich thought bubble after that. What a start for Dugalich, already in double figures off the bench for the Bruins.
Took steps.
UCLA's position defense, they're not a team that takes a lot of chances. They're not going to fly through the lane at you, but you just don't have any openings. Their length on not just altering and blocking shots, but passing lanes, and you see Iowa kind of hesitant. It's hard to score over the top of their bigs, and Ava Hyden still has not got cooking.
At least 9 first-half turnovers for Iowa, 8 field goals knocked down. Dugalich can't make it back-to-back. Stremlow with a hustle board. Well, no Hyden, no Stolke out there. Where will the offense come from for Iowa? There are 2 headliners in the post, averaging a combined 30 points a game, sitting over there. Stremlow is blocked. Neatkins with good defense. And more good positioning for UCLA in this first half. And Betts travels.
Now that freshman battle right now is fun to watch. Hayes, great recruit, #1 recruit from the state of Alaska, and then Sienna Betts, #2 over recruit in the nation. Both physical presences on the block that like to score through contact.
It's an all underclassmen lineup for Iowa. All their vets over there sitting right now. Right, shot fake. Does she have another? Not here, and Neatkins with the rebound and a numbers advantage. Hawkeyes attacks, leaves it, and an offensive foul.
That's such a smart play from Chit-Chat. Hawkeyes had pretty good body control. She wasn't out of control, but Chit-Chat read her eyes and got to the spot first. Watch Chit-Chat, she's in weak side, and then boom, just knows that that is the angle that Hawkeyes has to get to, and Hawkeyes was trying to pass.
Squirts free of Wright. Rice taps it out for UCLA. Textbook legal guarding position, 2 feet down, took it in the torso, and Wright wins it back for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Here we go. Don't cry. Don't cry.
And she's been their offense from outside today. Both threes for Iowa have come from Wright. And Daddy Beal's getting ready to check back in. Maybe with that in mind, get a little more offense on the floor. Houston from out deep. Passes that in.
Houston saying, all right, the foul trouble. I can move and play the guard spot right now a little bit.
A little more natural for her.
Moving out to drill the three.
That's her first of the season. Her first three. She was 0 for 5 before that. And Neepkin's on the take. Off the window. It pops out back to the Hawkeyes.
Journey Houston, a career-high 16 points against USC. And I love how she's progressing. Had a major knee injury as a junior in high school, the state of Iowa product. And Grant Jensen says that she really is coming into her own, just understanding what it takes to play at the collegiate level. And she plays with so much confidence.
Now put up Ava Heiden-like numbers against USC on Thursday, part of that career high. It was out of necessity because of foul trouble down. It's out of necessity again today. As the clock gets late on Stremlow. Down to 4. She finds a pocket and finds 2.
When Iowa is hanging around, down now by just 8. This has been a game of defense.
Neepkins leaves it. Sienna Betts to the strong hand.
Nice job of playmaking by Neepkin. She's not just a finisher, and she handed that one on a platter to her freshman post.
At least you mentioned a game of defense, kind of like last year's game, 67-65. It was Iowa that built the big lead in that one, and a foul on Rice. Coming up, Ramshark's halftime report, first half analysis, highlights from around the country. We'll put Iowa into the bonus, so right to the free throw line.
Well, it's been so balanced for UCLA in this game. Lauren Betts is the leading scorer this season with 16 points. She's got just 6 here in the game so far, and now with the foul trouble, she's had to spend a lot of time watching. The part about UCLA that makes them so tough is that they've got a lot of other cast of characters that can step up at any moment.
At the starting backcourt, Rice and Walker with 8. Dugalich off the bench with 10. One of the best for Iowa has been Chit-Chat Wright, who's up to 10 to lead Iowa. Shot clock turned off here. UCLA can hold for one more. And Ledger Walker got the Bruins starting with her driving in the opening quarter. And here comes the screen from Betts. 4 on the clock. Ledger Walker loses it. Bierbach hands up. Neepkins at the end of the half. Shane knocks it down.
Boy, the strength of Ledger Walker getting hounded to spin that defense and see if they can get some good looks.
And just to confirm, since we had foul confusion, Ava Heiden and Hannah Stolke did have 2 fouls in the first half. So that was part of the lead that UCLA built was 2 best players for Iowa were sitting for a long stretch in that second quarter. UCLA starts with the ball in the game for first place in the Big Ten. And second half begins with Rice off the glass.
Corey Close mentioned that she loves Kiki Rice's physicality in the matchup with Chit-Chat Wright. Took her right to the box and posted her up. Well,
they give Heiden the mid-range. She misses, but Stolke pulls it in. Addie Deal shorts. And Ledger Walker has it for UCLA.
I like that shot by Addie Deal. She is a baller. She's put in some big performances. Hasn't got it going yet in LA, though.
Single coverage, it's usually good night for Lauren Betts.
Lauren Betts is going to have a lot of energy and maybe some frustration she wants to get out after having to sit for a lot of that second quarter.
When it turns out she actually didn't have to. What about that move for Heiden?
Oh, show and go. I love that. That's how you get on the board, Ava Heiden. Her athleticism, the speed that she has with the power, really impressive. And Jan Jensen can coach up post players. She has had so many in her career, but Ava Heiden, the highest ranked post player that she's ever recruited to Iowa.
They let that contact ride in the post. Heiden fell down. That's out to the perimeter. And the deep 2 leads to a foul on Rice on the rebound. This is what we expected, right?
You knew that this was going to be a post battle. Look at Heiden leaning on Lauren Betts. She's able to go up and catch it and then spin to the left. Hayden shows it. Love that fake. Freezes Lauren, the shot blocker. Had 100 blocks last year, a UCLA record. But Hayden got her on that possession.
That was half the yo-yo move, and this a ball fake that gets her free. Start to roll.
Well, and she's so good with either hand. It's impressive. Takes a lot of time in the gym. And you can tell, I bet Jane Jensen said, can we please get some touches for Ava Hayden down on the block? And it's working here early.
Rice on a strong take. She's good with her left.
Boy, a flurry of scoring to start the second half.
Hayden has 6 quick points out of halftime.
Now what a way to rim run, Ava Hayden. The sophomore, Lauren Betts is extremely mobile. She gets up and down the floor. That time, Hayden beat her to the spot.
Awakening for Hayden. UCLA back in control of the weapon. Back to Betts. Posts. Grinding away down there.
Okay, how much fun has these last few possessions been? The post players going to work.
There's right short. We need to re-wrap our opening to the broadcast. Previewing Hayden against Betts. This is a sequence we expected.
All right, well, they both can play defense, but this little flurry of buckets by the interior players. Hayden going back-to-back buckets with Lauren Betts looming. That is big time.
Release an 0 for 4 start for Hayden. 3 of 3 since.
Even that burst right there. The first step for Ava Hayden. And she's a bit unconventional, where she'll lull you to sleep, and then all of a sudden, she can speed you up quickly.
That was the second foul on Lauren Betts.
Correct.
Confirm that. That was Hayden in the first half versus the 6 plus 1, and one more coming for Hayden in the second half. She is right up there as far as the most improved player of the Big Ten.
Yeah, 5 points a game last year to 16 this year. So we were talking about all the great candidates. So Katie Fisto at Oregon certainly is one of those.
Bill Sullivan at Northwestern. Double-digit score, but has turned it up to 21 this year. And another drive for Ledger Walker.
Such a high IQ player who sees that opening. This time gets with a deflection, nearly a steal, but UCLA can't secure it. Ledger Walker, who tore her ACL 2 seasons ago here at UCLA while playing for UCLA. That Euro step, how much ground did she cover? The Kiwi out of New Zealand has had some outstanding takes today.
The torn ACL that you mentioned against UCLA while playing for Washington State, that was 2 years ago this week. And she hasn't shied away from talking about it. It was 650 days she couldn't play a game. And good to see her with plenty of bounce on this Sunday at Pauley. Hayden can hit those, and she does. On a real heater since halftime.
Well, and so often for bigs, if you get them rim touches, let them get a couple going inside, then they've got the confidence to pull it at the mid-range.
Well, those two one-on-one again. Sneaks it home.
I mean, this is just back and forth.
Well, at what point do you post-track?
Right?
Yeah. And going one-on-one, Hayden against Betts. And offense. And that's the third one against Hayden.
That is a big one because it comes while she's not checking Betts. It's on the illegal screen. Lauren Betts just backing Hayden down. Hayden trying to stand her ground, but Betts gets deep on her and lays it up.
You thinking about sending a double now? The Betts is home?
Absolutely. I think you've got to adjust it, and so does UCLA. These two players right now have found that groove.
We'll have to wait a little bit to find out. With Sienna Betts in the game, Lauren sitting. And Sienna Betts in deep position. And Stokey the rebound. So Hayden stays in with the 3 fouls, staying in that rhythm that she's been in since halftime. Deal, deep 2. Still nothing. 0 for 5 from the floor today, 0 for 8 since coming west. Jubilee, hang tight for the Bruins.
Well, you are seeing the strength of UCLA. They take Lauren Betts off of the floors, going off. They bring in 6'4" Dugalich, who continues the paint dominance.
Well, most teams, there's a drop-off. An offensive foul against the Hawkeyes. That's Stokey's his third.
Iowa has been more physical here in the third quarter. They've come out and played their style, but now a couple of fouls on the moving screens that's going to send Hayden now to get a rest. Stolke is going to be thinking about it now with another personal. And that's the danger zone for Iowa.
Reading lips looked like James Jensen said. Both ways. Both ways. Repeated that phrase. Good hands to right. Ledger Walker couldn't hang on.
Nice job. That chip chat. He's staying with Charlize Ledger-Walker. Got a little deflection and forced the turnover.
We've not seen a lot of those trips. Very close to offense tonight. Shot it well since the start of the second quarter. They started the second half 5 of 6 from the floor. Building on their first half lead up to 15. You mentioned the least, there's 2-star forwards sitting. So chip chat right, the top scorer for Iowa in this game, and the controls. Pass on the 3. Out for a Stremlow triple.
Good look. That's what they want. That's what your offense is designed.
And the backs her way in on Hayes. And one.
Yeah, that is the #1 go-to for Sienna Betts.
Oh, 2 big names up on the marquee to start the game. Hayden, Betts, one-on-one.
With the explosiveness. And the younger sister, Sienna, the #2 overall ranked recruit in the nation, coming in now as a freshman. She's got the eyes of everybody as well. But for UCLA, they will have 5 or 6 players drafted this year. 5 or 6, especially with the expansion draft coming. We haven't seen that since maybe, what, Connecticut?
Yeah, 4 possible in the top 10 of the WNBA draft. And that's possible #1 overall pick. Iowa is still sitting Stolke and Hayden with the fouls. And in tight for Houston. Into a triple team. Out for a Beerbach 3. That would not sit down for her.
Good decision. Another field goal just wouldn't drop for Beerbach.
With entry Dugalich. Shoulder fake. And 2 more.
That is a senior right there. Patient, read the defense, didn't come in with a predetermined move.
Sienna Betts foul. Kurt Hayes got timed up.
Angela Dugalich, a player that just does the dirty work for UCLA. She's so tough defensively, but she also can be a scoring threat. And today, she has been consistent, getting it done on that end.
Oh, here we go. With sub-matching with Betts and Hayden. And this will stay here. Since halftime, this has been a terrific show, Betts against Hayden.
Now, the defense in the first half was the headline. Both teams struggled, turned the ball over a little bit too much. It's been much cleaner in the second half.
Well, I guess it won't stay here. There's UCLA ball. A 20-point lead for the Bruins. And they've been doing this to just about everybody in the Big Ten.
Average margin of victory over 30 per game.
Re-entry into Betts. The spin. Got rid of Hayden and got the bounce.
And that's a big improvement for Lauren Betts from her time in college. Mid-range going over for left shoulder. That's tough.
Right, found Houston away from the basket, showing her skill.
Nice job setting her up by Chit Chat. Houston just so composed, does not look like a freshman at all.
Well, she's long-term going to be a wing for Iowa. And that's an offensive foul on Betts. There's #3 on Lauren Betts.
Contact on every play between Hayden and Betts. And so, you know, it's just a matter of time. Look at this, a bounce there. Hayden goes down. I mean, really, you could call that type of physicality on every play. If somebody winds up on the deck, you can't call it because both players are working for position and using their bodies to do so.
Well, the strength of Betts, it's inevitable she's going to move. You see it with Audie Crooks.
That's her job.
Yep.
That's her job.
Yeah.
And same with Ava Hyden. Like, two power post players.
Yeah, it's turned over by Stokey. Yeah, a couple of players throughout the country come to mind that are that unicorn in how you officiate them, too.
Reagan Beers.
Yep.
She comes to mind. She's just so big, strong, physical for Oklahoma. UCLA getting a big-time win against Oklahoma in the non-con.
They've won 14 in a row since the loss to Texas, including 10 in a row in the Big Ten, and Dugalich with this card.
Well, she just wanted a little cherry on top. She could have gone on the right side, but went to the reverse to kiss it off the window. Dugalich feeling it.
She was going for the game breaker instead of the same side layup, and UCLA has a 22-point lead.
Now Dugalich getting her position early. Watch here, losing. Stolke could have gone up with the right. Nah, a little extra sauce on the left side on the reverse for Dugalich. She's up to 14 points now. Make it 16. Dugalich with one of her better offensive games of the season.
Let's get to know Coach Close a little bit for the unaffiliated. It came here in 2011, and it has been a lot of wins racked up in short time, especially the last 4 years, with the Final Four last year, the first ever, and she was the National Coach of the Year, and has a good case to be right in that conversation again as the #2 team in the country.
Well, I don't think there's any question. For Corey Close, what she's done at UCLA, she passed the legendary Billy Moore. She's got more wins in the history of UCLA women's basketball than anyone else. The breakthrough, as you mentioned, it's not just the Final Four. 7 Sweet 16s. She's been there 3 years in a row. The NCAA tournaments. The Final Four last year was special, though, as a breakthrough type of moment for the program.
You know what else she can do? She's good on camera, too. She's done some studio work for us at Fox. Let's take a look at our All Access moment, sponsored by Lincoln Financial.
Hey, Matt, is my green light on? Let's go, guys! Let's go! Let's go get this thing! Here we go! Let's go! Come on now! Let's have some fun out there! Let's go get this! Controllable. It starts with taking care of the ball and rebounding the ball, okay? Make sure those things are solid for 40 minutes, all right? Let's go! Come on now! Let's go! Aggression! 1, 2, 3, aggression! Pressure her! Pressure! Make her dribble! Make her dribble! One person crashing the board. We're standing way too much on the perimeter. Guards, get in there. Trust us. Say, hey, that gives so much confidence to our shooters, okay? Knowing we have each other's back on that. We're going to have hands every time, okay? Go! Look up! Second side! Second side!
An audio technician's dream, Corey Close. She would make sure that the green light on her audio pack was on. Elise Woodward, Connor Onion, that's great access.
You said she's been on the Fox desk. She knows what's going on. She knows when the red light on, it means go. But the thing about Corey Close is really cool. How much has the game changed around her in the 15 years since she's been here at UCLA? She has continued. Since she got here, she has been able to recruit. And she has built this UCLA program. And it's the longevity year after year that she has UCLA competing. And it's really for her players. It's not just about playing basketball, but she has them do service projects, and she's very involved, active, has been a part of the Women's Basketball Coaches Association, and gives back to the game and has helped grow the game of women's basketball, which is great.
Well, she said it a few weeks ago after a win. We are the best team in LA right now. Made some headlines with that. She included the Clippers and the Lakers in that. She did clarify some of the comments on that. No disrespect to some of those teams, but people need to tell the stories of our team and women's basketball. A huge advocate for the sport and her team.
Well, and just the standard of excellence of they are trying to win a national championship.
Dillage is called for the foul on the Blaney drive.
So for Iowa, coming out of the timeout, nice entry pass inside. Drawing the foul, Mulaney.
Tegan Mulaney rings out the first.
I just think when you're Iowa right now, and for every team, UCLA is so long. They right now on the floor, 6'7", that's 6'4" Dugalich. Bilic, 6'3" at the guard spot. Kiki Rice is the little one out there. She's 5'11".
Well, we've seen her post-up guards today. Here is Hawkeyes, heavy, and one bounce down to right. This is the jumbo lineup for UCLA. 3-4-5. Like what most teams look like at the 5.
I know it's Amia Gardner. She announced she will redshirt this season. She's another player that has that link for UCLA, but unavailable.
She will come back next year. Announced that yesterday. Part of the Final Four run last year for UCLA. Hawkeyes got to the left, and that's a foul on Betts. That's number 4 on Lauren Betts. So if not for the foul that was taken off the board, she would have fouled out. And she'll sit with 4 fouls now.
Working for position on the offensive glass, just taking height in that one, extending the arm, a clear foul. Just moving it. So when you are battling as a post player, you can use your legs, you can use your torso, you can lean on people, but what's a really easy call for an official is when you extend the arm. And so everything you do, it's not hand-to-hand combat for the most part. It's leg to leg, and just who can get that base and the power, and that time ends up in the free throws for Hayden.
I think hand-to-hand combat is usually a flagrant too.
We saw that a little bit earlier today, right?
I don't think it's written that way.
It's pretty much true.
I'm going to assume.
But it is a skill to learn how to lean on players without fouling. Oh, and Dugalich did that to perfection.
Iowa saves the possession as Stolke gets it back. Dugalich has been excellent both ends of the floor today. And she's got the on-ball pressure on Stremlo. Hayden from that elbow.
Hayden, when she can step out and knock in that mid-range game, what are you going to do as a defense? What can you take away? Because she's a good entry passer in that high-low look to Stolke as well.
I believe she has 14 of the 17 Iowa points in the quarter after a scoreless first half. And as Iowa down by 17. Mid-range, Nikin short, a rare miss. And at the end of the third quarter, UCLA will take a 17-point lead into the huddle. So Iowa look.
I asked Corey Close, I said, is it Sonia Citron comp a good comparison for Hawkeyes? And she thought that was the Notre Dame guard who, as a rookie last year with the Mystics, lit it up.
Hayden and 1, up to 16 second half points. I thought about that one. I heard a little bit of Lexi Hall in the comparison.
Yeah. Hall, the outstanding defender, but I think Hawkeyes in collegiate, she's turned herself into a three-point shooter, but she's a slasher. She moves without the basketball. But I like the whole comparison as well. I think with Citron, it's because there were other players that had the headlines, and she could have probably on a different team scored more points, but with kind of Hidalgo, and she didn't need to as much. And I think that's a lot with Gabriella Hawkeyes. On a different team, she's McDonald's All-American. On a different roster, I think Hawkeyes could put up a lot of points, but she doesn't need to carry that kind of load.
So here she is with 7 McDonald's All-Americans, scoring 15 a game. It's the foul on the post on Houston. When you score 90 a game as a team, and pass the.
And Muse getting that one, who's one of the best screeners on the roster for Corey Close.
We're having a debate: is it Dugalich or is it Muse? And it's a split, but Muse has the sharpest elbows on the team. She got called for one of her sharp elbows there. That's saved by Hawkeyes. 8.5 to go. Standing between UCLA and 11-0. Rice sweeps on the cross. Probing, and out to Dugalich. And the drive cut off. 3 attack for Hawkeyes, and she's fouled.
And that move to free herself, goes baseline hard, gets cut off, crosses over, goes to the middle to draw the contact. Hawkeyes There's her older brother, a great UCLA Bruin, led them to the Final Four, and now plays for the Miami Heat. Jaime.
Bro-sis combination first for the same school to both go to the Final Four, both brother and sister. That's one for the time capsule for the Hawkeyes family.
Mom and Dad have to be so proud, right?
And a couple at the line for him. Lead 18 for the Bruins. Iowa led briefly early on, and UCLA midway through that first quarter has been in command since. Houston looking high-low. Hughes right with her. Iowa with just 3 threes today, and it's Feuerbach drawing the foul on the attack. Lausanne Hawkeyes, the two best teams in the Big East, battle it out on Fox Friday Hoops. Second-ranked UConn fights for the top spot of the country against Zuby Ejiofor and St. John's. Friday night at 8 Eastern on Fox. One big power dribble, and Stuckey scribbles it home.
Stuckey getting a good paint touch and finishing. Iowa just has not been able to do that as consistently as UCLA so far.
Roger Walker saw what he bleached it earlier. Wanted some of that.
He didn't give it enough kiss like we bleached it.
You went Raph on us there.
Spin it.
That squirts out for a 3 for Strimlow. Ice cold from 3 today. 3 of 17 for the Hawkeyes. And this one goes.
Well, I like that from Strimlow. You mentioned it. It is just not gone. They've had some high percentage looks, quality feet set. And the defender not in a closeout. Strimlow misses the first, comes right back. Shooters shoot it. And I think you can hear her just making sure this UCLA team, because they have been beating teams by 30 points per game, to stay sharp mentally and physically for all 40 minutes can be a challenge. And she's sensing that, calling the timeout, making sure. For Iowa right now, they are 4 of 17 from 3. They have capable three-point shooters. Chit-Chat and Strimlow are going to need to get hot.
Right now, the three-point shooting is going both ways, apparently.
Well, for UCLA, they've been so quiet, they haven't needed to. They've just been dominating in the lane at 52-20. But that was a big hit out of the timeout by the Bruins.
Lauren Betts is back in for UCLA. And good defense for Hawkeyes. It's a 2-on-1. Neekins is up ahead.
The fast break points have not come in flurries like they can for UCLA, but that one, Hawkeyes getting up the steal, leading to the wide open Neekins bucket.
Well, Corey Close said in the UCLA huddle, we're not as sharp as we need to be in a 5-0 blitz since that speech.
Well, we brought him over, reminded him there is still time on the clock. Kiki step back 3, and she is shooting it as well as any time in her career. And another assist added on to the total of Kiki Rice. She has joined some elite company 4 years in a row for Kiki, where she's had 100 or more assists.
Well, that's the professional / get your jersey retired type company that she's in. And that's out of bounds. Stays in the Bruins. She really is an all-time player here. Kiki Rice, the scoring, the passing, as you just mentioned, the breakthrough to the Final Four.
Coming all the way from the Washington, D.C. area. Joined the UCLA Bruins. What a career she has had so far.
Neekins rings it up.
I would say that was a successful timeout for UCLA. 8-0 in a minute.
Plus minus on the speech for Corey Close is 8. And that stops the run with Hannah Stuckey.
Iowa needing to put an end to that run. Here's Kiki Rice, the out of bounds, watching a good screen from Betts, and Gianna Neekins can light it up from deep. Good answer and getting it inside the lane to Stuckey. And UCLA, what makes them so difficult and why they're one of the best teams is because this length, they are bigger than a lot of WNBA teams. 6'7", 6'4", 6'3", 6'3". They can go so big across their lineup.
The kids appreciate that. You got a 6'7" in for them. And a 6'7".
I think for her, she's either going to be listed at 6'8" or 6'6", or just have the kids love it.
What if she's listed at 6'7.67"? Get it down to the decimal.
There's not enough hands that you can because of 6-7 motion, right? Start using your feet. I don't know what you do then.
And all of America rolls its eyes. Oh, nice tap for Wright, and a give for Hayden to put it up.
Yeah, really nice job. Diagonal pass to Hayden. And she's back on the floor with those 4 personals. She's got no margin for error. She's got to play clean.
All in the second half, that scoring 19 points. Dugalich, she's been a star for UCLA today.
Dugalich showing off her skill set in front of all the WNBA players, scouts, GMs.
Deep one right, and she wanted a little pro-like range. And UCLA ball back at 20.
Chit Chat, 5'4" point guard, such a good IQ, tapping it ahead to avoid the steal by UCLA. And then if you drop cover against Dugalich, she's going to put it in your face. It's 34% from deep for 2 seasons in a row at a legit 6'4".
19 points for their 6th player. She's coming off the bench behind a starting lineup that averages almost 70 points between the 5 of them. That's how you have the 2nd best offense in America. Kiki Rice is fouled. Corey Close has said it several different times. No trouble for UCLA outscoring people. How far they go in March is how they defend. 35th in the country in defense.
Well, and really, it has switched from a season ago. This UCLA team, with the addition of Gianna Neepkins and the improvement as a 3-point shooter from Gabriela Hawkeyes and from Kiki Rice, they're the #1 3-point shooting team in the Big Ten and #5 in the nation. It's a different type of team than a year ago where there was a lot of drop coverage. There was a lot of let them shoot, clog it with Lauren. And this year, you have to extend. But defensively, she wants the same intensity, the same pressure, the same attention to detail. They're really heavily into data analytics. Corey Close feels like that's very important in the scout. So we'll see. I mean, they certainly look like they're all cylinders now.
Ethiopia has her first points out west. Comes late in the 4th quarter in the 2nd game.
Yeah, I really like the upside of Addie Deal. He is the reigning Big Ten freshman of the week, and nifty little move in the paint.
Turn around from all levels. Neepkins can get you. Deal was special against Ohio State. That game she scored 20 points. Hayden leaves it on the doorstep. And this is the experience, the tested mettle of UCLA against 8 underclassmen for Iowa. We're going to be hanging around the top of the Big Ten for a while with this group. Betts in tight, 2 more.
Wow, and Lauren Betts elevating to grab that ball. Nice connection as it goes over the top of the defense. Lauren showing off her athleticism. I don't think people really realize how good of an athlete Lauren Betts is. Yes, she's got size and she's got strength. She can run the floor and she can get off the floor when needed. Watch her go up and grab this pass right there, having to go behind her head and snag it. I mean, that's not easy with Hayden looming, but she's able to grab it, and then Hayden with the 4 personals has to let her go.
Anybody you've seen with that size, covering the women's game, that size in combination with skill comes to mind?
Well, I mean, Camila Cordosa is 6'7", and she obviously, again, 6'7 and a half. She had such a great career with South Carolina, but she, along with Lauren Betts, really just a dominant defensive type of player. Lauren, I think, is a little more offensive-minded as a collegiate player, but that same size. But, the question that everybody wants to know is it certainly has been more 5 out in the WNBA, and Lauren Betts is really working on being able to make that transition to the high mid-range area to the 3-point line. She's been working on it. So you always need size and versatility in the W. I know that.
Well, you were here for the turning point game for Betts with that mid-range game. What she's developed is Dugalich has it knocked free. That classic Oregon State game that we were reliving today.
Yeah, I hit the 18-foot jumper, but then the Beavers came back and got the win with Talia von Oelhoffen. I mean, it was crazy. Lauren Betts said, all right, if I can make the 18-footer, I can make the defense really respect all parts of my game. It's going to make me extremely dangerous.
Dugalich can do no wrong today.
It is her game, just going off today. And I love this for Angela Dugalich because she really is a player that makes her role all about defense and versatility. But it's fun to score. What's not fun about lighting it up, putting up the 3 fingers with a smile as she gets a standing O from the fans behind her. And her team fired up for her. The 6-year senior also has overcome an ACL tear in her career to come back now. And she's going to be playing in the W.
She grabbed her back, almost as to say, I put the team on my back today.
I think it might have been the high five from Corey Close. It was like, wow, what a game. Take it easy on me, coach. I still got to play.
Dugalich tying her career high with 22 points. And maybe sitting for the rest of the day. She's got the warm-ups back on. UCLA let Iowa trim it to 13. That Corey Close speech. It was right back, foot on the gas. After we went inside the huddle. Sienna Betts showing a little step back. Rice an offensive rebound. And clean defense inside for Iowa. 3-on-2. Stremblow finds the line. And hits another 3.
Iowa does not want to look up at the scoreboard when they leave LA and see a 20 point. They want to keep working here with 2 minutes change back. These moments matter.
Corey Close, it's still rolling. She asked her team to be a little bit sharper, about 5 minutes left, and
your ball pressure has improved so much, and that's why she got that deflection go. You keep taking pride in that, okay? That's who you are. Let's go.
Well, positive reinforcement.
I love it. I mean, for Neepkins, you know, in her journey to be drafted in the WNBA, and she's got all the offensive ability. It's about her defense, and Corey Close wants to continue just to say, hey, that's great ball pressure. You're making a difference.
Oh, Rice does a full 360. Everything bumps. And then a hard foul. Third foul on Rice. 22 points, tying the career high for Dugalich, and as it typically is when she goes off efficiently. 22 points on the 13 shots. I mean, if you're getting that off the bench for UCLA, good luck to anybody trying to beat this group.
I think you're correct. When you've got Dugalich added, she averages just a tick under 10 points per game. When you have the electric scorers that they have with Neepkins and Hawkeyes and Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice, I mean, when you get Dugalich coming off the bench that can light you up for 22 when given enough looks, it's just about, there's only one ball for UCLA, and they are unselfish. They are not about getting their numbers, which when you've got so many talented offensive players, it can become too much.
It's a fun idea, 2-ball basketball.
Exactly.
UCLA might still score 90 a game in that scenario, if not more. Here's Bilic for 3, air ball. Not a bounce. When you have the starters for UCLA averaging 68 per game between the 5 of them, that outscores 5 Big Ten teams total. And then you have Dugalich 22 off the bench. Scary. And final minute 20 on this West Coast swing for Iowa. Came out here 9-0. And against the regular season champs from last year, USC, and the tournament champs, UCLA. And looking like it'll be back to cover Hawkeye 9-2. A little runner from Houston. And a rebound for Bilic.
Life in the Big Ten. You put up the standings and all the numbers on the left-hand side, all of the rankings. This Iowa team ranked number 8, net ranking number 10. They just run into a buzzsaw today in UCLA.
And Sienna Betts puts it away with the final half minute. It'll be interesting to see which of those top teams in the league can steal some games on the road. There's a 3 for Deal is short. And UCLA can dribble it out. So going into next week, the top 4 teams in the Big Ten combined 42-1 at home. UCLA next week goes to Michigan in another matchup that'll be for first place. Today, it is the Bruins staying in first place. 11-0 with an 88-65 win over the Hawkeyes.
Well, an impressive win for Corey Close and her team. 88 points on this Iowa team that is physical, and the points in the paint was the battle that went decisively in the way of the Bruins and turned this into a UCLA rout.
They're not lying.
Needs to reset. Eyes on a first quarter-final of the year. It's been an underwhelming season so far, although that was 8 years ago for that pitching not enough. Final here for Vekic last year. She's aiming to make it back-to-back 500 points. Work to do here. In the third, Vekic gets it going. The trick is to almost treat this set as a clean slate. Forget the second set. It's done, it's gone. She gets to play some sparkling stuff in set one. The most